Still waiting in line? Again? That's time you'll never get back. Save time and money with Stamps.com. Over 4 million businesses have skipped the line with Stamps.com. Join them to save up to 90% off carrier rates from your computer or phone right now. Print postage for certified mail, registered mail, and packages in seconds. Then schedule a pickup right from your home or office. For a limited time, go to Stamps.com and use code PODCAST for a free welcome gift. Taxes and fees apply.
Well, I am here today. It's another DOPPIO episode of Grounds for Gaming, and I'm super excited because I'm joined by one of my favorite Twitch streamers, Chris CDubya719, looking around like he's pretending I don't know what it...
I thought somebody else was here.
Thanks so much for joining, Chris. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here, Ed. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Oh, it's ever since I found your stream way back. I don't remember what year it was, but I do remember I was looking for other people who were playing Immortals Phoenix Rising, and that's how I found you.
Is that really what it was?
That's what it was, yeah.
I think I only played that game for one day.
Is
the
that
stars
right?
aligned.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's amazing.
And there's just something about you've just got such a nice, easygoing, chill presence about you, and it's a pleasure to be in your streams and have them on while I'm working or whatever's going on. And so, first of all, thank you for being a nice place to hang out and for fostering such a warm, welcoming atmosphere.
Thank you. That's kind of the goal. I definitely want to make people that do stop by feel welcome and cozy and I've always kind of prided myself on being who I am on stream the same person I am on camera, because I don't have the energy to put up an act all day. So
right.
It's great that it works out. It worked out for you at least.
Yeah. Well, how long have you been streaming now?
I started in November of 2019.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What would you say, besides maybe technical upgrades, is there a huge difference from that first stream to where you are now as far as comfortability or games you play, or what do you think would be the major difference?
I think it's always an iterative process. Like,
yeah,
you always have a focus. You always have an approach, and you always want to make sure that you give whatever you're doing your best effort, your best shot.
Right.
And you try things, and I am probably guilty of committing to things longer than I should if they're not working the way I think they should.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot changing. I mean, I don't know if I could say anything, specific. It's been tiny incremental changes that I think have, as a result, led to something that's completely different than the first day I ever went live.
Yeah.
But it's the most substantial thing is probably feeling more comfortable in my own skin as not just as a creator, but as a human being, somebody who's maybe like in a personal social position, not quite as comfortable as I am, or as I was not as comfortable back then as I am now around people. I just feel like it gave me an opportunity to own my own space around me. And kind of make me feel a bit more comfortable in my own skin. So it's the biggest change has probably been more, my IRL self.
Interesting.
And the impact that it's made there.
So, and speaking of that, let me get a little bit of background on where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
Yeah, Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
I've lived here essentially all my life. I went to school in Michigan for a little bit, actually to be I went there to learn how to be a teaching tennis professional.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
So that was a chapter of my life that moved me out to Baltimore for a little bit, where I worked at a country club and
what?
I did some stuff like that, and then I came back home here and taught tennis for a while before deciding that I don't ever want to teach children how to play tennis ever again, including my own.
So were you like a tennis ace in high school?
Yeah, I played in high school. I played in college.
Yeah.
Yep, did all that good stuff. I love tennis. I actually played up until a couple of years ago, but then it just got too expensive. And where I live right now is more rural. We don't have a lot of opportunities to play tennis, especially in the middle of winter. So
Right. And did you have aspirations of going on professionally, or was teaching always something that was that the main focus?
teaching was the way that I could keep playing the game. I mean, anybody who, I mean, pretty much any athlete out there will have, at some point that goal to take it as far as they can. And I actually did. I had an opportunity to play in a couple of professional tournaments, lower satellite tournaments, like not like big tournaments or anything, but things that if you do well, you actually do get professional rankings points and stuff like that. So I had a chance to like taste some of that stuff, and it was a fun experience. It was good, but I was never ever going to have the commitment, the build to take it to the real next level. So teaching was a good fallback for me to just stay invested in the game.
Did you play games growing up? Were you a gamer kid?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember, I mean, I don't remember, but I do know like 3-4 years old playing NES, playing Mario.
Wow.
I was born in 85.
Okay.
Mario released in the US, I think in like 85 or 86 or something. And yeah, by the time I was 3, we had a Nintendo, and I remember, yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. That's been a part of my life ever since.
Siblings?
I have an older sister, much older, 16 years older.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So was it like growing up an only child?
Yeah. Basically. Yeah. She, by the time I was 3, she had already moved out of the house. So it's like, I never really had a sibling in the house with me at the same time.
What did your parents think about gaming? Was it just a hobby that you did? Did they feel one way or the other about it?
They, I mean, I think for the most part, they were cool with it. Like they didn't, they were the ones that were purchasing, the games for me at the time. And,
right.
Yeah, I mean, they let me kind of just, I always likened it to the fact, like, I kind of grew up with games as they went. And I was never, when the newest console came out, that was kind of the next stage in my growth too. So I was like, they provided me, I always had all the consoles growing up. I was a bit spoiled. This is just part of who I was. So I mean, yeah, I would have the Super Nintendo. I'd have the Sega Genesis. We had the Sega Channel for a while, which I thought was the coolest thing ever.
The Sega Channel? What is that?
You've never heard of the Sega Channel?
Like, is that literally like a cable channel, or is it?
It is. So it's Xbox Game Pass back in the day for Sega.
Really?
Yeah, you'd subscribe to your local cable provider, and the first of every month you would get a bunch of Sega games that you'd have to have a 56 or like a dial-up modem. It would go into it'd go into your Sega, and it was Game Pass before Game Pass was a thing.
Wait, like the Sega Genesis?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I realized that even had a modem jack in it.
It didn't. So you would get a separate thing that would plug in like a cartridge.
Right.
And it would plug into that.
Really?
Yeah. I was the first day of every month I was home from school because all the games rotated out, and I was like, this is my day.
Wow. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's people slept. I mean, a lot of people don't know about it, but it was so crazy ahead of its time.
Right. Yeah, I'm just impressed they were able to figure out how to do that back then.
Right.
Wow.
And then it took forever, and it didn't last the longest, but and then it took forever before anybody tried to do it again with Game Pass and not Game Pass, Xbox Live. Well, actually, yeah, I guess Game Pass was that version of it, but even online play and stuff didn't come around until 2 console generations after. So
you go from you've decided that you don't want to teach kids tennis.
Right.
Was it primarily kids you were teaching, or was it all ages?
Yeah, I mean, if there is a hierarchy to that profession,
mm-hmm.
you spend a good chunk of your time starting out teaching beginners, youngest kids.
Really?
You're basically kind of a glorified babysitter for the country club folk that just want to drop their kids off and go have a couple martinis,
Okay.
So it is what it is. Like you want to teach kids that are passionate. That's, I don't have a problem doing that, but no, there's just not that many of them with the situation you get thrust into a lot. So
Right. So what happened after you stopped teaching? What happened from there? What was the next step?
that was, so I decided to go back to school. So I'd left college. I was going to Fair State, and I'd left there because I was like, this is just, there's no reason for me to be here for what I'm doing now. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
So I had made that decision while I was still in school. Like, I'd still loved playing, but the idea of teaching for the next decade of my life to get to the next place, that I was just like, that's just not going to happen. So I ended up leaving school, coming back home, hung out for a little bit, and then decided to go back to school to get my degree in law enforcement.
Really?
Yeah. So
what?
That's actually what my degree is in. Yeah.
And did you go into it then after you graduated?
I never did, because
Okay.
The timing, when I was doing it, it was an extremely popular profession. I remember there was one job. The State Patrol was kind of the starter role at the time.
Yeah.
It's like kind of the intro. It's not there is no intro level position, but that is the one that typically that's where a lot of careers start, State Patrol.
Really?
And I had gone to interview for it, and we had, it was multiple interview classes, so to speak. It was groups, and there were 3 separate groups, like 70 people per group, and they were only hiring 2 spots.
Oh, wow.
It was a weekend long testing, like, and I was never in the military or anything like that. And at the time, like, you had extra points added to your score if you were military and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it was just another one of those things where it's like, this probably isn't going to work either.
Right.
I have my degree. I did my skills training and everything. I was qualified in the state to be a police officer, but there just wasn't anything available. And it was also
Wow.
right about when a lot of the big controversies around law enforcement started to hit, especially in Minnesota. One of my classmates was actually involved in one of, like, the biggest,
Wow.
setting off of things,
Right.
that happened right here in Minnesota. So I was like, yeah, I have literally no drive to do this now anymore either.
Yeah.
So then we just kind of bounced around to some other odds and ends jobs, just trying to kind of form my own path, and had some pretty miserable experiences, had a couple really good ones, but eventually had some bum luck with a couple jobs, lost them for reasons outside of my control, and decided I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to do something that I think I would be good at, and something that I'm passionate about. And that's kind of how we got rolling with streaming.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And you mentioned you have kids, you're married, to Kate. Where did you guys meet? And how old, where did that happen in the timeline?
So there was a time where my parents had been foreclosed on after college. And this happened actually while I was at college. So by the time when I was done, I'd come home, my parents had lost their home. So they had moved into an apartment. And at the time, that was when, college had finished up and I was having a hard time finding a job. And suddenly I found myself in this really uncomfortable position of not having a place to live.
Right.
School was over and I needed to find something else. So I had, fortunately I had some friends that I could stay with up in the Minneapolis area. And so it afforded me an opportunity to come up and look in a more populated area for a better job and stuff like that. And while I was staying with them, we had we were young, and we were like, me and a friend were like, let's go do some day drinking. Let's go downtown. We're gonna do some day drinking. So we did that. We went down there, and as we were down there, we ran across a bachelorette party, and we were going one way, they were going the other way, and we decided let's go back that way. So we followed them, and I met my wife at a bachelorette party.
Really?
Yeah, we played some Big Buck Hunter, and that was a good sign. She was really good at it.
Right.
And then we had fun that night, and
you Casanova, you.
It's the stars aligned again, because it's not not my forte. Talking to people and
Right.
that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, it went really well. And then I think the next weekend or something we got together and we collectively as a pair decided like let's play some Call of Duty. And she was really good
Really?
at that too. And I'm like, wait a minute, what are we doing here? So we had
Oh,
something
that's
that
awesome.
video games was something that we immediately like connected on there.
Right.
And yeah, so when the kids are old and they have their kids, we can tell our grandkids how we met hammered drunk downtown Minneapolis. And it's the one thing we both told ourselves we probably should never do that, but
That's amazing.
It worked out for both of us.
Do you guys still play games together?
We did for a bit. She actually played a bunch of Overwatch last night. For a bit, but I've stopped playing Overwatch. I've actually, because of my focus right now with my content creation and streaming, my primary focus has been single player,
Right.
primarily. So that said, I have had this hankering to get back into multiplayer stuff again, but for the most part, I don't play multiplayer with anybody. I don't.
Right.
I focus just on single player stuff, and that's kind of the niche that I've fallen into.
How do you decide when it comes to the content for your channel what it's going to be? You seem to have a pretty level-headed approach and a pretty rational mind. Am I in the ballpark on that?
Rational mind is a phrase.
Like you don't seem to be someone who will chase the big popular trend or whatever. You seem to have a very methodical, I'm going to do this and this is what I'm going to do.
Well, and that's okay. That's actually going back to what we talked about before. That's a good example of what's changed about my approach. When I first started, before I had built this big spreadsheet of the games, basically a backlog. But
right,
I tend to be somebody who's crippled by indecision. Like if you ask me to pick something from a massive list, I am gonna start thinking in like microcosms of like why I should pick this. If I pick this one, well, and then all of that stuff like adds up. So what I did is I just made this spreadsheet. I randomized it. I put a randomized formula in there, and that's how I chose my game. So
really,
they were all games that I wanted to play.
Right.
I could come up with 100 reasons why I should. I could come up with 10 reasons why I shouldn't. But instead of having that argument with myself, I randomize it. I play the one that's there, and that's the way that was the way we go. And that's how I did it for the longest time. And that was fine. But I did find, as I streamed more and more, there is still that need to get in front of as many people as possible. I found myself playing games that not only were not drawing people to me, they weren't drawing people to Twitch in general. I would be the only person streaming some of these games.
Right.
So from a discoverability element, which Twitch is already awful at,
right,
I was doing myself no favors.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've evolved that process quite a bit. And now what I've settled on most recently, and something that I'm actually really happy with, except it creates a different kind of problem for me, which I can explain in a little bit. But I have my main game that I focus on, typically a brand new release, not always the most popular release, but something that people do genuinely want to see. I dedicate a lion's share of my stream time to that, but I started rolling out quick looks. So like today, for example, I went live and I started my stream with a quick look at Static Dread, the Submarine.
Yeah.
Game that came out on Friday, relatively new release, one that very much looked interesting to me. That is the biggest qualifier for whatever I choose. It has to be interesting to me. I don't just play games. If they don't appeal to me, I'm not going to do it justice if I play it.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to have a fun time with that. So I did that for about an hour and a half, finished up, switched games, which is easy on Twitch, less easy on YouTube, kind of an annoyance, but still something that I found worth doing. Switched games to Beast of Reincarnation, and we rolled credits on that today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's what I what I am trying to do is define that one game that I definitely want to see through to completion. But if there's a game that interests me, make sure that I carve out time for it. Because so many awesome games, especially I have a deep appreciation for the indie game community, indie developers, the work and the blood, the sweat and tears that they put into their games. And I always feel so bad when I overlook them. But I also felt so tied to my own content that for the longest time, the idea of doing 2 games felt like I was doing a disservice to me and my brand and what I want. So it took me kind of stepping away and just forcing myself to look at how I want to approach my content to get myself on board with something like a quick look approach. And it's been good. It's been great for me. I've got 6 games in the last week and a half that I've played that the problem now is that I think they're so awesome I don't want to stop playing them, but I can't find time. So it's a different hurdle to get over. But
do you pay much attention to reviews at all? Like, for example, Beast of Carnation got a lot of mixed reviews. Is that something that you look at and makes you hesitate, or is it that looks fun to me, I want to play that game?
So it's funny. A lot of people will say when they look at a review score, the thing that they'll value the least is typically that score. They'll read the review for the content and try to find out the specifics that drive them. I do the opposite because I want to go in as fresh as I possibly can. I want to go in as blind as I can when I play. I'll look at the score and be like, all right. And that's it.
Yeah.
I'm curious. But what I've found, especially this year, a game like Crimson Desert, that game came out to a lot of criticism, tons of criticism. That's one of my favorite games of all time now. Like I loved it. It took me a while. I almost quit it the first day, like everybody was saying. But once it got its hooks in me, I couldn't put it down. I just had, I thought it was one of the best experiences I've had. And I think overall the sentiment around that game has changed a little bit. The opposite of that is Beast of Reincarnation, where it maybe didn't get the best reviews, and I'm done with it now. And I'm like, that deserved every bad review it probably got. Like, it was good enough for me to see it through. I don't have a problem putting a game down if I'm not enjoying it. Beast of Reincarnation is not a Game of the Year contender for me by any stretch. It's probably going to be one of the worst games that I've played this year, but it was good enough for me to see it through to the end. There was that allowed me to do that. So
I'm like you, where I don't like to know anything going in. There are games, like Wolverine. Yeah, I want to play. Stop showing me stuff. I don't want to see anything else.
Right there with you. Media blackout.
Yes.
In fact, I've almost adopted that for every game. Now I don't let myself get hyped for anything, because again, if I start getting too excited and looking toward games, the GTA 6 is coming out, or I can't even think. I'm so unfocused. I don't even know what's coming out next month. But I have a really tight grasp of what I'm playing this week. Exactly what most of it. Like a couple of details are sorting themselves out yet, but like I know tomorrow I'm playing The Sinking City 2. I know that there's a chance that I'm also going to do a quick look for a game called Twisted Tower. I know that there's nothing new coming out on Wednesday, so that means I've got that day pretty much settled. I really want to play Mortal Shell 2. I have another opportunity for a quick look on Thursday that I am blanking on right now. But it's like living in the extreme now as it relates to gaming means that I don't ever stop getting hyped, because next week I don't even know what's coming. And when I find out, I'm excited all over again.
Yeah. Do you need that structure? Like the fact that right now, what's coming up for the next few days for you. Do you need that? Because I sit down and I'm like, I guess I'm feeling this, and that's the game. I have no, and maybe I need a little more structure like that. Is that how you operate best? I'm a little
psychotic when it comes to how structured I like to keep things. I have on my Chrome browser, I have a folder titled Daily, and I right click on it. This is how I start my day. I right click on it, open all. It's a series of 7 or 8 websites. One of them is just for gaming news. I just get caught up on the things from the last 24 hours or so. And then I go to a release calendar, releases.com, and I go through it day by day, just picking out things that might be interesting to me, something that I need to follow up with, whether it's it's reaching out to the devs for a code, whether it's looking at Keymailer websites or just studying the trailer and trying to understand if it's a game that might appeal to me or not.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have like a YouTube channel that I check out real quick, and like it's just to feed me as much as I can take for the next 7 days. I am extremely focused and planned out for the next 7 days. Ask me what I'm doing on day 8. I have no idea.
How do you do with? There are certain games for me, like The Last of Us Part 2 was one where for some reason I was like, you know what? I want to play this off. I want to play this for myself, because I found that when I'm streaming, I'm so bad at, there will be like a little cutscene and I'll be like, I don't remember anything they just said because I'm looking at chat and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. How do you do with enjoying the game while you're also carrying on a stream? Are you able to still take everything in?
Yes, for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, the streamer curse is always that you have to, you have to find that dual focus. You have to read a chat while you're reading a game, and you're gonna miss stuff. So I'll count on chat to be like, okay, it's not that I wasn't paying attention, but what did they just talk about?
Right.
It happens. But for me, I don't think, when I think back to some of the games that I streamed years ago, I do get this drive to replay some of those, just because I know that there's things that I've missed, or things that I just don't remember as well. I kind of want to have like that special time with it.
Right.
But then again, I don't give myself enough time to play games offline.
I was just going to ask if you play offline very much.
Yeah, I will. I will if I need to just like decompress for a bit.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I don't need to do that as much as I used to, because the way that I'm doing things right now is actually kind of also my happy place. So the time that I'm not streaming, I'm generating other forms of content, or I'm being a husband and a father.
Yeah.
Those things also have to take priority. But when I do have those times where I can, where I just feel like I just need to step away for a little bit. I mean, even then, again, it goes back to like I'm crippled by indecision. I have a list of games that I just randomize. Let's play this one for a bit.
One thing I struggle with as a streamer is if there's a game that comes out, I almost feel guilty if I play it off stream. Kind of like, and I understand that nobody is joining the stream to watch the game and take in the story from the very beginning to the very end. But I feel guilty if I start to play a game and I'm like, oh, maybe I should start over. Is that a thing that you deal with at all?
I think I would.
Yeah.
If I did, if I let myself, play offline, but because I don't, especially a game that that's touching my stream at all. If it's touching my stream at all, it's getting played on stream.
Yeah.
What I found when I have tried to sit down, I did go through a little hiatus where I didn't stream for about a year, while other things were happening and stuff. During that time, there were games that I was excited about, games that I would be excited to stream or play or otherwise. But I found myself having a much harder time getting invested in those games, even though I found them super interesting, because chat wasn't there.
Really?
Yeah. So chat has become such an important part of my way of experiencing games that it's a genuinely different feeling if I play something by myself. It just doesn't hit the same.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So for you, chat enhances the game.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
there's definitely
really
games
cool.
that I've played on stream. A Beast of Reincarnation is probably one of them. I did see it through to the end. If I'm playing that by myself, I don't think I see that through to the end.
Right.
And that's a credit to chat.
Yeah. How do you do with people who don't quite understand what Twitch streaming is? How do you explain it to people who are out and about and they ask what you do, is that a thing that you shy away from and you say other things that you do, or do you say I'm a Twitch streamer or a YouTube streamer? And how do you explain that to people who may not be a viewer and can't wrap their head around it?
It's hard. But it's easier now than it's ever been. I was working, and I actually fully plan on starting work here again soon. But I work with a video game studio. I'm laid off right now. But they actually encouraged me to continue streaming on a very regular basis, which was awesome and confusing at the time. But I understand why. Like they would like me to grow my brand so that when the time comes where we're showing off the game and stuff, as many people as possible can see it.
Yeah.
But that confidence from them to continue to stream made me feel like what I do is at least more legitimate in my own life, right? Because it's a difficult thing to say. When I was streaming on Twitch, when I am streaming on Twitch, I am not making enough to support a family, right? That's just not how it is. Now, but that said, I've started working some other elements of content creation, doing some short form stuff for a company called Jester, which has been amazing. And if anybody who is a short form creator that wants to find another way of making some money for short form content that they make, reach out to me, because again, I don't want to sound salesy or anything like that. I'm not, Jester is not sponsoring this segment or anything like that.
Right.
I have the utmost confidence and faith in them. I've made more money off of Jester than I've made off of Twitch, comparatively month over month, just because for content that I would already make. Right.
Yeah.
I'm also in the beginning stages of negotiating my first licensing deal for some of the content that I have made.
Wow.
So it's things like that where it's like the timing of that question is outstanding, because the reason that's a difficult question for me to answer 6 months ago is because I have no confidence in what I do. I'm not confident enough to tell people about it because I don't have enough confidence in what I put out there. I didn't have enough confidence in what I put out there to express why it's meaningful.
Yeah.
Now, because these things are happening, I have enough confidence in what I do. I know that I'm good at it. Twitch numbers aside, the thing that always holds a streamer back, Twitch numbers aside, YouTube average viewers, all of that stuff that doesn't actually matter, but yet dictates our lives. When you start to find things outside of those that help you find and believe in your success, it's so much easier to have those conversations with people when they come up. It's we live and die by those numbers, and they could make you one day and they could absolutely break you another day. And that's just no way to live. But the second you start to feel like the content that you do put out there that exists right now, especially on YouTube, Twitch, you have your VODs and stuff, but your best streaming moments live there.
Yeah.
And whether people are watching it right now or whether people find it next year or it gets brought to them in some other way, that doesn't change the fact that that's your best work right there.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment.
What would you say to someone who, and it's funny too, because, with the way that Twitch works, especially recently, and how they work their views and who counts as a viewer now. And everyone's numbers, it seems, is dropping if you're not a massive streamer. What would you say to someone who they may feel they're doing good work, the numbers may not reflect that? How do you help someone from not getting wrapped up, letting the numbers dictate how they feel about themselves?
The first advice I'll give anybody who wants to start out now, or who is starting out now and kind of just getting their feet wet, don't dedicate yourself to one platform.
Hmm.
Don't just stream on Twitch. Don't just stream on YouTube. Um, find a way to get multi-streaming working. Put yourself out there on multiple platforms. There's different audiences there. There's different ways of being discovered. We talk about Twitch discoverability, but it does have it just in a different way than like a YouTube. But like for me, discoverability has always been infinitely better on YouTube.
Hmm.
But my better live streaming experiences will always be on Twitch. That's where I started. That's where a majority of my viewers are.
Yeah.
That said, make sure that if you have the capabilities, you're also doing multiple formats. You're doing horizontal and you're doing vertical.
Mm-hmm.
Vertical discoverability on YouTube is, I get as much as Twitch is where I get the most of my views, and I do dual format there. Do a dedicated horizontal, dedicated vertical. When I was doing it that way, I was getting 200 or 300 views per live stream.
Wow.
Vertical. That's more than 2 or 3 times what I would pull on Twitch during some streams.
Right.
So like there's just so many different ways to get out there. You got to kind of tweak things. You got to experiment with things, but there's usually a way to twist things a little bit to give yourself a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned working with a gaming company, and I know that people can't always say exactly what's going on, but can you say what your role is there, what it is that you're doing or will be doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, technically I'm laid off currently, but I'm still very tight with the studio, and I almost have like not quite daily conversations, but I'm always in contact with what's going on. I just played the latest build, and things like that. So it's, but it's the studio is called Dark Math Games. We're based out of London, coming out with a game called Tangerine Antarctic.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, what I'm doing is working technical publishing, which is kind of working with the storefronts, the platform holder, not the platform holders, the publishers like Sony and all of those companies that would be involved with wherever we decide to launch, Steam, Epic, all that good stuff. Working with them just to make sure that the way that we push our stuff through their pipelines is legit, and it's done the way they want it, and it matches their needs and assets and things like that and all that good stuff. And then I'll also be helping out with kind of secondary marketing stuff. If the marketing stuff needs to get done, then just helping where I need there.
Just having that kind of behind the curtain view of what goes on behind the scenes of a game studio, does that help or enhance or give you a different approach to streaming at all?
That's one of the big reasons I've dedicated so much of my focus to indie games. We're an independent studio. I've seen the work that it takes to do this stuff. Gamers as a whole, we only ever get to see the final product. We might hear a news story here and there about something. We might, it might get picked up here. This is a deep dive into the gameplay. This is something, a dev diary, that stuff exists, but you don't ever actually know unless you've been there what it takes to make a game. Keeping that in mind, that's why I really wanted to focus on quick looks, giving an opportunity to show off some of these games. Not just from streaming, but making sure that content makes it into shorts. Because the best driver for any engagement that I have, any growth that I have, is my short form content. That's the stuff that comes from my streams. That's the stuff that gets the most views. That's the stuff that gets the most engagement. That's the stuff that people were like, oh man, I went home and bought this.
Yeah.
Like that's the stuff that I love to hear. That's the stuff that I live for. Yeah, I want to be a successful content creator. I have my own personal objectives. I got a family to feed and all that stuff. But in the meantime, if I can help independent studios meet their goals and keep them around, and even if it's my own little contribution, then I can feel good about that. And that's something that that's always going to be like one of the core pillars of why I do what I do.
You know, you mentioned working on your short form videos and doing things. How much time do you spend not on stream working on your content?
A lot.
Yeah.
More than I'd like. At some point, what I would like to start laying down a plan to maybe get an editor, somebody that I can work with. But in order to do that, I just got to make more successful videos, right? I got to do that more often. But right now, I mean, the first thing that I do when I wake up is basically come down to my computer or come up to my computer. I live upstairs now.
Okay, right.
And I do that daily thing, right?
Right.
So that's kind of my work day when I start. That's first thing, get through that stuff, all that stuff. And then I have set my schedule to try to start my stream between 9 and 10, which means that I have typically an hour and a half to 2 hours on the days that I don't go to the gym, or the days that I don't go to the gym, I have more time. The days that I go to the gym, I have less time, to try to at least get the ball rolling on things, usually getting start editing a video or something, at least get it going. Stream's done. I'll go back to whatever I was editing. Assuming YouTube is cooperating, I'll start working through the videos from today to try to start analyzing and pulling out short form content from that. And then, you know, trying to plan around all this time. I'm also trying to like sneak in emails. And right now, I mean, front to back, it's typically, it's not atypical for me to have 12, 13-hour days.
Wow.
And that's usually even a good chunk of time, 4 hours or so on the weekends as well.
Right.
Which sounds like a lot, and it is a lot, but it's also, I used to have my office down in the basement. I moved it upstairs specifically so I could be up closer to my family. They usually spend time upstairs. I did find myself spending way too much time downstairs in my office, separated by an entire floor, and just didn't love that. So I came up here. I can freely get up, move around. Like it's not like I don't feel as closed off as I did for a while.
Yeah.
But it's also, it's easy to do that when the passion's there.
Yes. Yeah.
And that said, even you still have to be careful. Like you still have to make sure that it's not absorbing everything about you. Like that's one of the reasons why I'm so grateful. And again, I won't keep bringing this up, but this is one of the reasons I'm so grateful for like Jester, because it is the best pay for what I do that I've ever had doing this.
Yeah.
And it's you know, one of those things that it's just it's made that time feel more substantial. When you're not making the money that you would like, when you're not finding those successes, it's way harder to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, eventually there's a point where grinding has to make sense.
Right.
So I do spend a lot of time doing it, but I've also got amazing support from my wife. She believes in what I do. She sees the work that goes into it. She knows what it takes. And she's been, you know, a godsend to let me do this. Nobody else would let me do this. Zero people. Like I'm okay telling people like what I do for a living, but I'm not telling like my friends or my friends' wives how much time I do this.
Right.
Like there are things we don't need to talk about.
So looking ahead, and you know, you've probably touched on this a few times, but just even a year, where do you want to see yourself? What do you want to be doing?
In June, we hit YouTube Partner. That was good. That was exciting.
Congratulations.
Especially with YouTube announcing their new goals to reach the partner program. You know, need basically double what I needed.
Right.
So if you're a creator trying to do that, God, good luck. I'm so sorry that happened to you. That sucks. Because if it would have happened and I was in the middle of my grind, it might have been enough to knock me off. So I feel for anybody who's dealing with that. So we were able to accomplish that though, thankfully, before the hammer dropped. Again, I talked about Jester, but the Jester does have a tier that you can reach, a partner tier that I'm knocking on the door of. So
nice.
that's a big goal of mine. That'll actually make for higher payouts and earlier access and embargoed stuff. That would be fantastic. That would make my scheduling life a lot easier.
Yeah.
I just don't know where Twitch falls in it. I find it hard to continue to feel like Twitch partner is a reasonable goal, thing to even want this day and age. I don't know much about what to expect on that platform, but that's still where my community is though. So I'm still going to be there day in and day out.
Yeah.
I'd like to be back working again, back, doing the working with Dark Math and continuing to grow in that regard. There's a couple of other things that are pending as well, that some ideas that I've pitched, some things that could come to fruition that I am not in any way going to talk about yet, but I won't shut up about it if this stuff comes true. And then the biggest thing I want to see is just how far we can take the content creation thing. Like I said, getting ready to sign my first licensing agreement, or to work through my first licensing agreement, just to see how that process works, and how that negotiation works and stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of things that I'm excited about. What it's going to look like in a year, it could look just like this and nothing's changed.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to go into it with that expectation and see, if it's something different than that, then just got to be ready for it. But it's a difficult field to have super lofty expectations in. You just got to go there and grind, to do your best, and don't ever sell yourself short. Do the work it takes, but sometimes even that won't, always work out. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's good to go in with tempered expectations and then be pleasantly surprised. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out and for chatting and sharing, and let us know where can we find you.
Oh boy. Well, CDubya719. So that's CDubya 719 is basically everywhere. Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. That's a thing. Blue Sky. Yeah. I mean, I stream Monday through Friday, typically between 9 and 10 a.m. on Twitch and YouTube. That's the primary. That's, as much as we were talking about short form, that's my favorite place to be. That's live. Like, it's where I get to be myself. It's where I get to engage with people. It's where I get to just act like a goofball, and when the camera's off and the stream's done, then I have to work. And I did say I'm passionate about it. I do like it, but it's also always a step down from live streaming, because that's the thing. Again, if things were great, I would have an editor that would look at all my stuff every day, and I would be live from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. all day, every day. Now, maybe not the weekends, but that's just that's the nature of the beast. So that's where you can find me: Twitch and YouTube, typically live streaming. Nice.
Well, dude, thanks so much for chatting. I definitely appreciate it.
This was awesome. I expressed the interest about potentially, being on a podcast again. I miss just talking about games.
I love it. Appreciate it, man.
Cool.
A text says, "You're on my mind." A bouquet from 1-800-Flowers says, "You're my everything." Heartfelt moments belong in the real world, not just your phone. For 50 years, 1-800-Flowers has helped millions of people make memories that'll last a lifetime, with gifts they'll cherish forever. Their expertly curated arrangements and gift baskets ship nationwide with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't wait for the next big moment. Make it when you visit 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out That's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.